thank you, Grandma. Thank you so much for that. I needed that advice. Just because you don't necessarily have that in your life doesn't mean that you can't find it. And I do think that if you look hard enough, you will find it here. But you have to keep looking. You have to keep scrolling because there's a lot of other instructional videos. A lot of, like, there's this one guy that does spin art, and he just keeps spinning it and spinning it until someone buys it with different colors. And it's really cute. I mean, some of the stuff is really pretty. He did one last night that I really did like quite a bit. So you never know what's going to come out of something like that. You know, a little bit of inspiration based on colors. Thank you so much, Katie. It's literally something that becomes innately yours, though. And that is part of being an artist. If you have the discipline, if you have the drive, if you have the support, no, okay, I'm going to back up. You don't need the support. You know, I was thinking about this earlier. What do you do if you lack that support at home when you're not getting it and you are coming on here even to look for ways to find personal support? That part of self-caring, that's important too, because you are feeding your soul. You are feeding your artistic soul. And that is something that not everybody experiences. There are some that literally are going through the motions of life. I guarantee you, you are not going through the motions of life. You are on here because you are craving something. That craving could be being part of a community. That craving can be being a part of something new, something creative, something special, something that leaves its mark. And that is, thank you so much, Lorenzo. That is the most important part about this, is getting on here and finding that support when you do not have that support at home or you don't have it in your life. I never had it. Never had it. In fact, I had to hide it, which is one of the reasons why I paint after 12 o'clock at night, because I waited until everybody was asleep and then I would paint so that nobody would say, "Why are you wasting your time? Why are you doing that? You will never amount to anything as an artist." You know something? That's not true. You can amount to something that has its own meaning and its own value. It doesn't necessarily have to be something that is financially fruitful. It can be emotionally fruitful. And that's one of the wonderful parts about coming on here and finding others that can help to support you. So that is me going back on what I said, saying you don't need support, because you kind of do. Even if it's, I don't know, even if it's looking in a mirror and saying, this matters, I can do this, and I have a right to complete something that has value to me. You know, you think about things along those lines, and you have to look at yourself, and you have to create value in yourself. And that is one of the more important things that an artist can do, is to be able to find those connections. Other artists are often great connections. That does not mean they are perfect connections, because artists are all individual. They're completely individual. And so by doing that, that's what makes creativity unique, is finding those little pieces of who you are, finding those little bits of what matters to you, what you like to see. That is part of being an artist, whether it is your destiny or not. You can have a destiny as, you know, I work in publishing. I also do graphic design and book layouts. I've written books, and I have done buildings. I've created buildings as an architect, but I'm in my 50s. I've had a little bit more time, and during that time I stayed busy. I stayed creative, but it kept changing for me. It was never easy. And that's also, I think, part of finding your niche as an artist. Sorry, it is incredibly hot out here. And I just cannot believe I'm going to take this off. Hang on. Totally good. Okay. Tank top, totally appropriate, all that good stuff. Yes. But it is literally like, I want to say like in the 90s with humidity. And I'm outside because my husband goes to sleep incredibly early. He is in bed by 9:30, hence the painting in private. After the kids are in bed, when the world is at peace, and you can just create something just for the reason of doing it because you want to do it. I've decided to give up watching TV. I will occasionally watch a movie before bed sometimes. There is some things out there that can really spark you as an artist, and I'll play those sometimes while I'm working. But usually when I'm painting and I am creating, I am listening to my music and I have my candle lights. I'm on my patio outside so that I don't wake my husband up so that he can sleep. He's got to work in the morning. Also, I've got a really obnoxious dog. If you looked in the other videos, he's a rescue, so he's still working on it. He's a sweetheart. His name is Wallace, and he likes to come on here. He's a little bit of an attention whore. If you see him, you'll know that, okay, this is going to be all about Wallace. Okay, that's kind of how it is. But he is this giant elk-hound looking dog. That's not an elk-hound. I did a DNA test on him, and he's terrier. He is poodle, and he is Chihuahua. Don't know. Without a bench involved, I don't even want to go there and try to visualize that. But he is a very unique dog. He was abused, and so I have to watch his triggers. And sometimes his triggers are, he can be incredibly clingy, and he has to be like right by my side. And welcome in, Nanner. Welcome in. And hi, Katie. I hope that maybe you guys can tell me a little bit about yourselves. Where are you from? Are you from the United States? And what state are you from? I love to see how far out I get, because I do these at 9 o'clock for a reason. I start my sessions at 9, and it does inspire me to paint later on. It's kind of becoming a thing for me. But 9 o'clock makes it so it's after work for my friends on the West Coast. But yet it's still early enough that my East Coast friends, the ones that go to bed at like 11 o'clock, can still come and be a part of this. And I don't have many people that I communicate with on a late night, unless it's on here, to tell you the truth. And so this has become a little bit of a community. It's a world. It's a way to be able to be a part of something. So where are you from? I wonder, are you even in the United States? Because I get a lot of folks from Nigeria, oddly enough. And I love that, because I have met some beautifully amazing people. Welcome in. And Eyes Glow Marie. I really appreciate that name. It's kind of pretty. I feel that by coming on here with you guys, what I'm getting an opportunity to do is learn about people that are in other areas of the States. They're in other parts of the world. They're trying to do this, and they are doing it in their own way, and probably nothing at all like what I'm doing. It does not look like this. I guarantee you that it does not necessarily look like this. And that is because I have to be surrounded by the elements. I have to have where I feel like I am a part of an environment. I am a part of, it's set up, it's a setting. When you have things set up the same way that if you set up your dining room table, you're gonna have a nice dinner. And you're going to have a different experience than you are when you have a coffee tray in front of you. Now, granted, I will sometimes paint inside or sculpt inside watching my shows, but this is the way to really connect during the summer, and I crave these nights. And I've got lots of little mosquito repellent plants and different things like that to try to keep it safe. And I'm hoping that I can keep my lighting good for you guys, so that, let me try moving this a little bit more. Don't know if that's gonna, I might have to come off if it starts getting to be too dim. But I do have a candle. And with this candle, it becomes even more of like a spooky story. Sorry, I couldn't resist.